We imagine ourselves as the pinnacle of evolution, but the scientific reality behind what Neanderthals could do that modern humans cannot is humbling. Their average woman packed more upper body power than today's elite male rowers. Their bite force was strong enough to tear rawhide, a capability modern jaws cannot match. Here is how we became the weaker model. Neanderthal upper bodies were built for force, not finesse. Fossilized humeri and forearms show muscle attachment areas up to 50% larger than in modern humans, sometimes even more. When sports physiologists model these bones against elite athletes, the results are staggering. Average Neanderthal women, based on cross-sectional muscle area and lever mechanics, would pull more than today's top male rowers on the ergometer. In raw numbers, their arms could generate up to twice the pulling force of a modern human, with modeled peak flexion strengths in the range of 1,700 to 1,800 newtons, about 80 to 100% higher than the best trained rowers can sustain in competition. This is not just a matter of muscle, it's a difference in the entire mechanical system. Their robust bones, thick with cortical tissue, could withstand stresses that would risk tendon rupture in modern humans. Sports physiologists point out that the average modern tendon would snap under loads that Neanderthals likely managed as routine. Even the most dedicated athlete today, with years of training, cannot safely approach the working forces Neanderthal skeletons were designed to handle. The evidence is written in the geometry of their bones. Pronounced differences between right and left sides reflect years of spear thrusting on one side. Their hand bones are shaped for power grips, and their forearms are Popeye-like. Every anatomical detail signals a body optimized for short, explosive power, not for running marathons, but for delivering and surviving forces that would tear the connective tissue of any modern human. This is the power build our species left behind. Neanderthal jaws were built for punishment. Their mandibles were thick, deep, and reinforced with dense bone, shaped by generations of heavy use. The attachment sites for chewing muscles, especially the masseter and temporalis, were massive compared to those of modern humans. This architecture meant their jaws could withstand forces that would crack or deform the faces of most people alive today. While direct measurements are impossible, biomechanical models place Neanderthal molar bite force at levels matching or slightly exceeding the strongest modern humans, often in the range of 600 to 1,000 newtons. But the real difference was not just in peak numbers, it was in how they used their jaws every single day. Microscopic grooves and scratches on Neanderthal teeth tell the story. Their front teeth, especially the incisors, show extreme wear, beveled edges, exposed dentine, and striations running across the enamel. These patterns do not come from chewing food. They come from clamping, pulling, and twisting hides, sinew, and fibers, using their teeth as a vise or a third hand. Archaeologists have found that Neanderthal anterior teeth endured repeated high-force loading, tasks like holding a strip of leather taut while the hands worked it with stone tools. Over decades, this relentless use sculpted the entire lower face, driving the forward projection of the midface and reinforcing the jaw. Modern humans, even those with strong jaws, avoid this kind of punishment. Our dentitions would chip, crack, or wear down to the nerve within years. Neanderthals, by contrast, evolved a cranial system that could survive and recover from these forces as a matter of routine. Their faces were not just stronger, they were engineered for a way of life that demanded the mouth do the work of both tool and limb. In the Ice Age world, the Neanderthal jaw was a survival tool no modern human can truly match. The Neanderthal rib cage wasn't just wide, it was an anatomical furnace. CT scans of the Kabara II skeleton reveal a thorax that is not only broader, but also deeper and more conical than anything seen in modern humans. This shape translates to a thoracic volume about 20% larger than ours, even when you match for height. That extra space meant bigger lungs, more air per breath, more oxygen delivered to muscles, and a core that held heat like a sealed oven. Shorter arms and legs further shrank the surface area exposed to the cold, trapping warmth where it mattered most. But the real secret weapon sat above the mouth. Neanderthals had huge nasal passages, wide, high, and deep. Computational fluid dynamics models show that these oversized nasal cavities worked as built-in heat exchangers. As freezing air rushed in, it was warmed and humidified before reaching the lungs, protecting delicate tissues from the Ice Age chill. Even in glacial winters, with little more than basic hide wraps, their bodies kept a stable internal temperature. Where a modern human would risk hypothermia in minutes, a Neanderthal could keep working, hunting and sleeping in the open. Their entire chest and face were engineered to survive a world that would freeze the rest of us solid. In 1957, deep inside Shanidar Cave in Iraqi Kurdistan, archaeologist Ralph Solecki and his team uncovered the bones of a Neanderthal male who would forever change our understanding of survival. Known as Shanidar I, this individual's skeleton tells a story written in trauma and healing. The left side of his skull bore the marks of a crushing blow, likely leaving him blind in one eye. His right arm had suffered a catastrophic injury. Most of the forearm was either missing or withered, and the remaining bone showed years of remodeling. Both legs displayed signs of chronic joint disease, and evidence of other healed fractures ran through his skeleton. Yet the most remarkable fact is not the number of injuries, but the timeline. Bone growth and healing patterns show that Shanidar I lived for many years, even decades after these traumas. In a world without hospitals, antibiotics, or painkillers, he managed to move, eat, and survive in an environment where hunting meant close encounters with massive, dangerous animals. Some researchers see in these bones the imprint of social care. Others point to a body that endured levels of chronic pain and physical stress that would cripple most modern humans. Genetic studies add another layer. Neanderthal DNA carries variants in pain-related pathways, including sodium channel genes that influence how nerves transmit pain signals. While the exact effects remain debated, the fossil record leaves no doubt that Neanderthals like Shanidar I survived injuries that would send most of us to a hospital bed and kept going for years after. Their resilience was not just social, it was physiological, written into the very way their bodies responded to injury. Neanderthal skulls tell a different story about sight. Measurements from sites like El Cidrón in Spain reveal eye sockets about 15% larger than those of modern humans, even when you account for body and brain size. This wasn't just a quirk of bone. It meant larger eyes, capable of gathering more light in the dim twilight of Ice Age Europe. Endocranial mapping shows an expanded visual cortex with up to twice as much brain volume dedicated to processing visual information compared to Homo sapiens. In practical terms, a Neanderthal could pick out detail and movement in gloom that would leave us stumbling. Their world demanded it: long winters, thick forests, and hunting at dawn or dusk. Where our vision fails, theirs held the edge. A Neanderthal's chest and lungs weren't just for warmth. They were built to deliver massive bursts of oxygen on demand. When sports physiologists modeled their respiratory system, the numbers land closer to a modern power athlete than a marathon runner. Their deep, wide thorax gave them more air with each breath, fueling muscles for short, explosive output. In practice, this meant they could repeat high-intensity efforts, charging, grappling, hauling heavy carcasses, without gassing out as quickly as most people today. While a modern endurance runner is tuned for steady, economical movement, the Neanderthal body was primed for sprints, with big lungs, rapid oxygen turnover, and a muscular engine that could deliver maximal force in seconds. Their physiology matched the demands of ambush hunting and close-quarter survival, not distance running across open plains. Geneticist Svante Pääbo's breakthrough with ancient DNA revealed a hidden inheritance. Every person of non-African ancestry carries about 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA. Much of this legacy is embedded in the immune system. Segments of Neanderthal genes, including the TLR cluster and certain HLA variants, still shape how modern bodies respond to infection. These alleles once offered protection against Eurasian pathogens, giving early Homo sapiens a survival edge outside Africa. Yet the same genetic fragments can raise the risk of autoimmune disorders today. Neanderthal immunity was not simply stronger, it was a different set of trade-offs, still written in our blood. Today, every strand of Neanderthal DNA in us is a reminder: evolution is exchange, not upgrade. We traded superhuman resilience for adaptation and comfort. As technology shields us from the world they mastered, we risk forgetting what human limits once truly meant. That cost is still unfolding.